Good evening, listeners. My name's Pro Tipster Martin, and we are here bringing you a Pro Tipster podcast for the evening. We're going to be talking about basically the Premier League games over this weekend and our game of the week, Spurs and West Ham, who meet at the London Stadium on Saturday afternoon. With me, I've got Pro Tipster Dan.
Hiya.
And also Pro Tipster Tom.
Hello, everyone.
And yeah, basically, let's get straight underway. We'll start talking about the game of the week, which we've been promoting on social media for the last few days, and that is West Ham at home to their rivals Spurs. Kickoff's at 12:30 Saturday afternoon, and it's going to be a tough one, guys.
Yeah, well, as a West Ham fan, you're going to be biased, aren't you?
Yeah, it's one of those. I am a West Ham fan, and my heart does rule my head on many occasions when we meet, especially at home. I mean, it's a tough one. All Spurs fans give me a lot of stick saying that it's our cup final whenever we play Spurs. And, you know, they're right. I mean, in years gone by, we were pretty close, but now Spurs are playing Champions League football. They've left us behind, and I don't blame them for laughing at us at the moment. It's not our cup final, but we do love to get one over on Spurs as and when we can, especially when it means that they drop points.
I actually think West Ham have got a good chance of doing it this time.
Think so?
Yeah, I'm not going. There's something about Spurs. I mean, I know they've got this Wembley hoodoo. They can't win at home at the moment in the Premier League, but I think that you take out Harry Kane, you take out Dele Alli, and they don't seem to. They seem to be quite an ordinary side. Like, I was expecting more from Son last weekend, and I don't think he really delivered. And there's talk he's going to be dropped this weekend. They're going to bring Ben Davies back at left back, and Son's going to be dropped. And you know, like I say, you keep Harry Kane quiet, you keep Dele Alli quiet. I'm not sure that Spurs have got anything else at this moment in time. You know, they've spent money, but I can't see any evidence of it being much better.
That's a difficult task for Hammers to keep Kane quiet. I mean, he's firing goals, especially against West Ham. Talking with Martin, I read interesting statistics that West Ham beat Spurs 14 times more than any other opponent in the league. So
that is very true.
That might be interesting in the head-to-head. But given the away form of Spurs, because I have the impression, and I'm sure you guys as well, that Spurs, when you see Spurs playing away from home, it's completely different to what they play in Wembley, so-called home.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Although we've done 1-0 last two times they've come to us, we've done them 1-0. And like Dan said, all we got to do is keep Harry Kane quiet, because I think he scored something like 5 goals in his last 5 games against us. So if we can keep him quiet, then we've got a big chance. And I think we're a huge prize this weekend as well.
Yeah,
Martin. Sorry, Dan. Martin, a question for you as a West Ham fan.
Yeah, go for
it. Do you expect Bilic to play the 3-4-2-1 formation that he played last 2 games, which brought quite success for West Ham after those opening 3 defeats in the opening 3 rounds?
Yeah, definitely. I think we will go with 3 centre backs and then a wing back on either side. So Cresswell will probably get the nod over Masuaku, although Masuaku had a good game in the Carabao Cup in midweek. Scored a cracker as well, actually. There's a bit of a debate going on at the moment with a lot of West Ham fans as to whether Cresswell is any better than Masuaku and whether Masuaku should get a starting place ahead of him. But I expect Cresswell to start this one. On the right, obviously, Zabaleta, and then we've got 3 central defenders. James Collins, annoyingly, got injured the other day. So he's going to be out for the next few weeks, which is an absolute sucker blow because we love Ginge. James Collins is probably still, even at his age, still our best centre-back. So, I don't know, Jose Font would probably start ahead of Ogbonna. But yeah, I expect the same formation. But it's all about whether Andy Carroll will play up top on his own or whether Javier Hernandez will join him. The one thing I don't like, I know Bilic has come out and said, he's playing for the team at the moment and playing him out of position, but Javier Hernandez on the wing is just a complete waste.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. He needs to be played up front.
Exactly. So that's what I'm praying for. I'm hoping Andy Carroll and Hernandez up top with Antonio possibly just behind. It's a shame Lanzini's, I think, had a little bit of a setback with his injury, so I think Lanzini's going to be missing probably for another couple of weeks yet. So, yeah, Hernandez and Carroll up top, although I did hear today that Carroll took a knock in training, so he might not start. But
there's a shock. There's a shock. Andy Carroll injured. Who would have thunk it?
Oh, no. I think he's only just made 100 appearances for us over how many years? It's ridiculous.
So do you expect your team to play more defensively than usual against strong Spurs, or do you expect an attacking approach at home?
Oh, no, for sure. I expect us to go for it. Yeah, we'll be attacking, especially at home. If we went on the defensive foot for the first 10 minutes, then the fans would be getting, they'd be giving a player stick. So we'll be going all guns blazing for the first 20 minutes, trying to get at Spurs, probably, pressing constantly and just trying to nick an early goal. And then if we get that early goal, we'll probably sit back for about 70 minutes and hope that we win 1-0.
See, I'm backing West Ham to win. 5.42 for West Ham to win at home against Spurs. I think it's ridiculously high.
Yeah,
and, it's value at the end of the day. Yes, the bookies are probably looking at Spurs away form, but West Ham have had the Indian sign over them. I'm backing 2-1. I think it'll be 2-1. I think Spurs will score, but I've just got this feeling that London Stadium, I don't like it as a football ground. It feels to me like Wembley, and I just wonder if that's got the same sort of effect that Wembley does on Spurs. And
yeah,
that's my reasoning for backing West Ham, actually, is the London Stadium effect on Spurs. Because, like you say, that you've done them the last few times you played them. Last season, you obviously played them at the London Stadium, you beat them. Yeah. And they always seem to choke in the big ones as well. So, yeah, I think they're going to totally Spurs this situation and lose.
I'm similar to Dan. I am picking for this game West Ham +1 Asian handicap, which is 1.76 on Pro Tipster. So okay. I also see the value for the home side to do a result here.
Okay, nice one, Tom. Well, I'm agreeing with both of you. Obviously, my heart is ruling my head a little bit, but the fact that we've won the last couple of games 1-0, and I was looking at a stat earlier, and Spurs haven't won their 3 opening away games since 1991-92 season. That's like 25 years. So I think that run will continue, and I'm going to predict 1-0 again. We're going to do a 1-0 at home. All right. Well, let's crack on. That's the game of the week out of the way. So we've got 1-0. Spurs, 1-0 West Ham win for Martin. Pro tips to Martin. Pro tips to Tom has predicted West Ham on the handicap. And pro tips to Dan has predicted West Ham to win 2-1. Let's move on to the 3 o'clocks now. We've got Burnley versus Huddersfield, guys. What are we thinking for this one?
Okay, first things first. Burnley 6th against 7th in it. Burnley versus Huddersfield.
Yep.
It absolutely blows my mind that Burnley versus Huddersfield is 6th versus 7th in the Premier League. It blows my mind. Like, I'm a supporter of a Championship football team. I remember both of these teams being like Championship stalwarts, and now they're in the Premier League and both doing okay.
Now, Dan, both are doing more than okay. Come on.
Yeah, you say that, but Huddersfield haven't been so great. Last 3 games, they only picked up 2 points, and I think they're going to start finding. When you're in the Premier League as a smaller team, you've got you have like games where you have to try and get a result because you're not going to get a result against the big guns, and this is one of those games for both teams. Burnley are phenomenal at home. Like, their record at Turf Moor in the past has been amazing. They've got Chris Wood, who's scoring goals for fun. I do like Huddersfield. I'm a big fan of Aaron Moy in the middle, but I think this is going to be a real fight for both teams.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think this is going to be an ugly game to watch. To be honest, it's going to be a big fight between two sides. I mean, Huddersfield, they have to concentrate on their defensive qualities, on the team spirit.
Yeah.
similarly to Barnsley, but it's going to be a tough game, very physical game. As people from Europe would say, a typical English game.
I think it'll probably be in the air more than it'll be on the floor, to be honest. But yeah, I completely agree with you guys. It'll be a tough one. Like
Chris, I was just going to say, Chris Wood, he's taken to playing for Burnley like a duck to water, hasn't he? He's scoring goals. I remember Chris Wood a few years ago back, playing, 5 years, 6 years ago, playing for us. And as a Birmingham City fan, he scored 10 goals in like 2 months. He is one of those players who is absolute crap outside the box, but you give him the right service and he'll finish and finish and finish. And I think that's what Burnley are going to do. They're going to set up to set him up.
I think you're right. I was just going to say, do you want to divulge to our listeners who us is?
Yeah, Birmingham City. Currently 23rd in the Championship, 4th manager in 9 months. We're awful. Championship bet this weekend. I've backed on Pro Tipster. Derby County to beat us, 1.78. Put your house on it. We're going to lose our 7th in a row because we're just not very good. Just not very good at all. 14 players in this summer. Jesus. Yeah, that's my rant out of the way. Sorry.
Very positive about your team, Dan.
Oh, don't get. I'm going to be watching this one because it's live for international viewers, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I can't think of any other thing but a Derby win, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it will be a Derby win, and of course, Derby's managed by the manager we sacked 3 managers ago, Gary Rowett.
You might need some pints in the evening after watching this.
Mm.
I
was going to say, going back to Burnley against Huddersfield, I love this term, classic English game, because I think that's exactly what it will be. 1-0 win to Burnley.
Is that what you're
really ugly game, yeah. 1-0.
Here sorry. I'm with Dan on number of goals, because for this one I am on under 2.5 goals. The odds at Pro Tips are 1.5. Not the greatest odds, but it reflects exactly what we have said here in the last couple of minutes. It's going to be a fight. I think both teams will feel they can or they should take points from this game. So yeah, something like 1-0 for either side.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm actually going to go for a 2-0 Burnley win. I think Huddersfield, they started well. I think they've been found out a little bit. They obviously lost 2-0 to us. We absolutely battered them for the whole game. It should have been more. And obviously they lost to Crystal Palace in midweek. So that's not going to do their confidence any good at all, is it? And I think Burnley are odds against 2.05. I think that's great odds for Burnley to win at home.
I got 2.12.
Oh, interesting.
2.12. And I love backing home teams over 2.
Yeah, I think they should be odds on, to be honest, especially going by Burnley's current home form. So good value there, I think. Right, let's move on to the next one. We've got Everton versus Bournemouth. Now, this is a bit of a tasty one.
Yeah, 18th versus 19th. Everton, I saw a stat on this. Everton have spent more money in the transfer window than, was it Borussia Dortmund? And their squad's worth more than Borussia Dortmund. They've spent 350 million euros and they're 18th. I think Koeman might be under pressure here. They've got to get better. They've got to, and this is a match they've got to win. Got to. I saw a bit of them playing the Carabao Cup. They brought in some youngsters. Calvert-Lewin.
He's got to start the weekend, right?
Yeah, I think he will start on the right. He looked really good. Ademola Lookman came on, looked really good. They played John Joe Kenny, their latest back. I don't think he'll play on Saturday. It'll be Cuco Martina. But what's worrying is like the players they brought in, like Davy Klaassen, was dreadful. You know, and they really need something. And you know, they play 4-2-3-1. You got Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, Mirallas behind Rooney. Yeah. They need, against the Bournemouth side that's struggling somewhat, you know, and is reliant on the evergreen Jermaine Defoe. Everton need to win this. Really need to win this.
I'm not sure they will, though. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Martin. I saw Everton in 3 or 4 games this season. I saw them live when they played in Slovakia in the Europa League qualifiers. So they're in also in Europa League playing against Atalanta Bergamo. I think the only good game I saw them this season playing were the draw against City, to be honest, which was quite decent. But yeah, for the money they spent during the summer, it's quite surprising.
Very much so.
Bournemouth they're in horrible form at the moment, and they rely on Tifo a lot. But Everton need to win these kind of games if they want to play some significant part in the league, or if they want to go up the league and fight for European spots. I see a value in Bournemouth, to be honest. As I said to you guys, for this weekend, I'm backing quite a few underdogs, and Bournemouth are one of them. So for this one, I would pick Bournemouth +1 Asian handicap, 1.67 on ProTipster.
See, I'm going the other way. I think Everton will do this. I think they've got to. I think it'll be a tough game for them. But I think the class will out. Sigurdsson, I think, although he's not worth 40, I do refuse to believe he's worth 45 million. Definitely. But he is good. They've got a fairly solid midfield in Gay and Schneiderlin. Rooney up front, I don't know if he's past his heyday, but Mirallas and Calvert-Lewin surely will give him some support on the flanks. I'm going for Everton to win this 2-1, and I've backed Everton to win at 1.64.
Interesting. Well, I've actually gone for the draw in this one. Surprisingly, I read a stat. There's been 19 goals scored in the 4 games between the two sides, which is pretty impressive. I'm actually going for a 1-1 draw. Everton haven't lost they've lost their last 3 Premier League games. They haven't lost 4 in a row for a couple of years. Although I fancy Bournemouth to get something out of the game, because Everton haven't got going at the moment. So my tip is 1-1. It's going to be Everton versus Bournemouth draw at 3.88.
Wow, tasty odds.
Very tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Well, this is moving on to City versus Palace. So I think the question is, how many Palace are going to score?
How many Palace are going to score? Are they going to score? I've been watching Man City quite a bit this season, and I saw a piece on BBC News talking about how Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus are like the new Dwight York and Andy Cole, or the new Shearer and Sutton, like the new hot partnership in the Premier League, and they're unreal. I know Guardiola brought in Jesus to play him, and I think he was going to play him wide, but then he saw him as like a 9. And you've got Aguero, who's like probably one of the best 9s in the Premier League. What do? You play them both, is what you do, and you fit your team around it. And Pep's got it going. I've been so impressed with them this year.
I think they'll win the league for me, personally.
Do you think, guys, that Aguero is the best striker in the Premier League at the moment?
Well, Aguero's got the added thing that if he scores twice in this game, he takes the all-time scoring record for Man City. Mm-hmm. So he's got a huge thing on him to go for it. And Jesus, the kid's 20, and he's. I read something else. I was reading on Man City website, and they were saying that the difference this season isn't just Aguero and Jesus scoring; it's the forward passes from the midfield punching through the defenders. That they're getting more passes from the midfield into the front 2 behind the defence, and that's what's doing it. Yeah. You watch them play, and that is exactly, you've got players like David Silva, and you've got real talent in the middle who are going to punch it through. I think Man City will actually play 3 up front. I think they'll play Sterling as well.
Yeah,
4-3-3 probably.
Again.
But yeah, I'm backing. I looked at Man City to win, and obviously it's like ridiculous odds. So I looked through the handicaps, and I'm backing Man City -2.5 at 1.1.
Okay. This is the second game I will. against Dan. Yeah, Palace are. I'm Palace to be really up against City in this one, even though they are in horrible form. I think they can be the first side with Portsmouth to lose 6 games in the opening 6 games in it, something like that.
Yeah.
And they have a tough draw. I mean, they play City, then they play United, then away also, then they play Chelsea at home. Very, very difficult matches ahead. But again, I looked at the handicaps, obviously, because the outcomes, the home winner was of no value. So I looked at the handicaps. I must go with the Crystal Palace plus 2.5 at 1.72 odds.
Wow.
I just think that it's a pure value. The handicap is quite huge. I mean, obviously, City will play for goals until the end, but I'm not sure how Palace will approach the game, if they're going to try to defend or and play on counter attacks, or what's the approach going to be. But still, this is definitely a value pick for me.
Okay, interesting. I don't know. I think I'm personally agreeing with Dan on this one, minus 2.5 handicap, because quite personally, I think Palace could be 3-0 down after 10 minutes. I think it all depends. If Loftus-Cheek plays, I think he had a blinder the other day. He didn't play the whole game because he's only just come back from injury. But if he plays as well as he can, they might limit it to the odd goal. However, I just can't see it. I mean, I'm trying to make an argument for Crystal Palace, but I just can't in this game or the next 2 games. I think they get absolutely battered.
They need Ben to start scoring goals, otherwise. But they need to find a way to get him the ball into the box.
Yeah, it's true. It just doesn't look. No Palace players look like they're on it this season at all. I don't know what it is. Even the change of manager, is that going to do anything? Not sure. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with Dan on minus 2.5 Asian handicap. I actually think it's going to be about 4 or 5-0, to be honest.
Yeah, I think 5-1. I think Palace will score a 90th minute consolation.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think Man City will get bored and they'll start taking the mick, and Palace will nick one.
I think when you were talking about the midfield maestros, I think De Bruyne has been unbelievable the last couple of games.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. He really is. And then you look at the players they've got to come in. Like Leroy Sané last night looked outstanding against Albion. You got Gundogan, who's just coming back to fitness.
Yeah.
You've got the array of talent's unreal.
Gundogan got injured again, didn't he? I think.
No, it was a precaution. I think it was a precaution. They took him off. Yeah, they said it was just a slight twinge, but they wanted to make sure he'd be all right. So they took him off.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, we all agreed on that one. That City are gonna. Well, Tom's sort of going against us a little bit, but we think City will edge it. So I think let's move on to the next one. Southampton versus Man United. Me personally, I think Southampton have been up and down so far this season. It's, they lost the last 2, 2-0. And it's hard for me. It's hard to see Southampton getting anything out of the game. I know United haven't got Pogba at the moment because he's injured, but even if it was Burton in midweek, but they scored an unbelievable goal midweek. Some of the team movement has been unbelievable. That was at home, yes, but even away, they just look at different sides of last season.
Yeah, I've got to say, Manu. I think Mourinho's got the front line work. Lukaku was the signing they needed. Was one of the 2 signings they needed. Matic being the other. Like you've got Rashford, who's finding the goal regularly. Martial looked decent last night. Lingard got on the score sheet last night, and you can see they're firing. They're confident. Their tails are up. Mourinho's got that team working. Credit to him. He knows what he's doing. Jose does.
Definitely.
The title competitors together with City, the hottest competitors for the title. I read the stats that 8 players scored for United in the first 5 games of the league, which is quite impressive. If you have Lukaku on fire, I mean he really fits into the lineup really well. I can't see anything other than a away win here. United to win at 1.75 on Pro Tipster.
Yeah, I'll go Man United to win as well. I think it'll be like 2-0. It's a shame. I actually like Southampton. I've got a lot of time for them. They've got Birmingham City old boy Nathan Redmond playing for him. He's a good lad, and they've got some really good younger players. But they're playing a Man U team that's on fire at the moment, and I can't see them getting anything.
No, me neither. I've gone 2-1 United. I think Southampton might nick a goal. Although, like I mentioned, they've already lost their 2 home games at home to Watford and then the League Cup to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So that wasn't great. Yeah, can't see anything else but a United win this weekend. Okay, Stoke versus Chelsea. Is this an interesting one?
Stoke have had the toughest start to a season I've ever seen. I think it's. I think I saw a stat where it's like November, where they play a team that was below them last year, and they play Chelsea. I don't know. I was a bit concerned that like Conte had lost the plot a little bit with them after they lost to Burnley, but they seem to have got it back together. I was kind of flicking through. I've watched some of the highlights of their goals last night.
Yeah,
the Batshuayi got a hat trick. Obviously not playing first team players, but some of the movement again, like there was what I think it was Batshuayi's hat trick goal. Rudiger hit the most outrageous outside the foot pass to Kennedy on the flank, like in behind the defence, and you think these, they've brought in really well. Rudiger looks, a really good player. I think selling Matic was a bit of a mistake, but against Stoke, who I think Mark Hughes has lost it. I think he's lost it big time. He's reliance on big, powerful players to play a physical game, and I think the Stoke team's aged somewhat. They tried to buy in quality. They tried to buy in Bojan, and it didn't work out. They bought in who was it? Imbula last season. Didn't work out. And they bought it. I thought Shaqiri would be a good signing, and he's not really worked out either.
Scored a good goal the other day.
He did, yeah. He still looks so chunky, though, don't you think? Don't you think Shaqiri is one of the chunkiest looking Premier League players there is?
He's small and chunky.
I admit that's kind of hypocritical, me saying that, but yeah.
But don't forget, they did do Arsenal the other week, last month. 1-0. So they do have it in them to beat the big boys.
They didn't lose to United either at home. So
the Bet365 stadium is not the easiest to go to as well. It's notoriously narrow pitch.
Yeah, and windy as well.
yeah, it's a horrible place. I've been there as a member of the press, and it's not nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm still going Chelsea though. I think Chelsea are a good side, and I don't think Stoke have got enough. And I'm going Chelsea to win by the odd goal, 2-1 at 1 point. So Chelsea win at 1.61.
Okay. For this one, I have to say, guys, I really like Stoke. It's one of my favorite teams in England.
Really? What's the reason behind that?
Well, especially a few years back when they played really defensive football.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And
you're a fan of the Rory Delap throw-in? Exactly,
that's what I was going to say. Now, you just read my mind. So I even have their jersey at home with my name. Which I ordered.
Jesus, Tom. I have to confess here that Stoke are one of Birmingham City's massive rivals. It goes back 30 years. We played them in a first division game, and they won 3-2 thanks to the dodgiest refereeing performance ever. There was a riot after the game, and we've hated them ever since. Oh, they stole our manager as well just before that. So yeah, I hate Stoke.
So it's definitely not your favorite team.
No, not at all.
I don't think we'll be playing them anytime soon, Dan, so it's all right.
Less of that. We might get them in the cup.
That's true.
But to go with the game against Chelsea, of course, Chelsea are the big favorites. I don't think Chelsea I have as strong as they were last season, or I think they can do as great things as last season, but still, obviously, going to play Stoke away is not an easy place to play, like you said. For this one, I think it's going to be a tough battle. I think Chelsea will most likely win this, but it's going to be a narrow win. But for if I should predict something, it should be under 2.5 goals at 1.89.
Wow, interesting. I'm actually going the other way. I actually think Chelsea are going to batter Stoke. Just looking at Stoke's recent form, I mean, they lost to Bristol City in the Cup. They lost to Newcastle. And I think the couple of games before that, all right, they drew against United, so that was a fair result. But then again, they drew against West Brom before that. They haven't won for a while. I don't think they've won this month. And just looking at a stat, they've won 2 in 19 against Chelsea. 2 in 19, that's crazy.
They lost. I mean, they lost this season away. I mean, at home they were. They had Arsenal at home. They had at home now. They have Chelsea at home. They've
had a tough
good fight against the big teams at home. I wouldn't expect much from them away, but hoping dedicated performance.
Yeah. Well, my prediction for this is I'm going 3-0 Chelsea. I just don't think Stoke defensively are okay. Eden Hazard should start at the weekend. I mean, that's a big plus for Chelsea. And yeah, 3-0 Chelsea I'm going for. So let's move on to there's only one more 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday that we haven't discussed, and that's Swansea versus Watford. Massive game.
Yeah. Swansea I've not been impressed with them this season. I know they lost Llorente. They brought back Wilfried Bonny, and I don't think he's the player he was when he first played for them.
He hasn't played much yet, really, has he?
But they also brought in Renato Sanchez on loan from Bayern Munich. I saw Renato Sanchez play quite a bit in the under-21s European Championships here in Poland, and I don't get the hype. I really don't get the hype. He was pretty poor last season for Bayern. He didn't really do much here. So, I don't know. But then again, I look at Watford, and I've not been impressed by them that much either. I think Watford need a little bit more up front.
Do you not think Deeney and Gray's enough?
Well, Deeney's not been playing. This is the thing. Troy Deeney's not played this season, I don't think. I don't know what's going on there, because Troy Deeney was, I think he still is their club captain.
He's a high player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's not played. And Deeney is more than just like a striker. He's a talisman. You know, he's very good at getting them wound up, getting them together. Marco Silva he did all right at home.
I rate him highly.
But away from home, they weren't great. And I got a feeling this is going to be an ugly game. I really do. But home side above 2 is a standard prediction for me. I just think it's a way of getting value, and I think Swansea will probably have enough to see off Watford. I don't think it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a dull 1-0 win. But Swansea at 2.33 says, yeah, back me. It's the kind of bet I would lump into a 4-team hopeful accumulator. That along with Burnley at 2.12, I'll be like, yeah, if it comes off, I'll have a few beers tonight. It's that kind of bet.
It's one of the games. I mean, one of the most difficult games to predict in this week. To be honest, I mean, if I should recommend something, I would just say don't touch it. But if I honestly, I think it can go either way. It can be 1-0. It can be 1-0 Swansea, 1-0 to Watford. It can be 0-0. But if I'm to pick something, it would be less than 2.5 goals, so under 2.5 goals at 1.69 on Pro Tipster.
I think that's fair enough, because Swansea, only Palace have scored less goals than them. Swansea have only scored twice in the Premier League this season. Yeah. I think only one other team has scored twice in the Premier League, and that is Everton. Who, strange enough, I've also backed to win this weekend.
Well, I'm going the other way. I'm going for an away win. I actually think Watford might nick this. I've actually gone for a 1-0 Watford win. And that's just basically looking at recent form. I know Watford got battered by Man City, but look, let's ignore that one.
That's not a game they need to win anyway. So
exactly. And I mean, their last 2 away games in the league, they went to Southampton, they won 2-0. They went to Bournemouth, they won 2-0. So I think away from home they're half decent. So I actually think they're going to do Swansea 1-0. Right, we've got a late game on Saturday, and that is a repeat midweek versus Liverpool. What are we thinking for this one?
I'll let you go first, Tom.
It's another one which I wouldn't recommend to take anything on. But Liverpool are 4 games without a win, I think, in all competitions. I saw a bit of yesterday's games, but not sure if that we can take it into account, as I get the impression that the lineups will be different completely on Saturday. Really difficult one. Leicester will rely probably on Vardy, but Mahrez.
I think Leicester's key player might actually be Shinji Okazaki. I watched them play in the cup and against Liverpool, and they were pretty average. And then they lost Ojoa to injury, and Okazaki came on, and all of a sudden they were a different team. I really like Okazaki as a forward. I think he's really good for them. He's not a striker. He's a proper forward. He's quite creative. He can do stuff outside the box. And him and Vardy up front together. Slimani had a good game as well. Though. Good second half with Okazaki too. So I think they'll take a lot of confidence from that experience. However, that Liverpool side was a weak side, and I don't think Leicester have got enough to take on Liverpool when they're playing their full range of stars, as it were. I don't think Firmino played. They played Woodburn. Woodburn came up front second half. Coutinho apparently is coming back to fitness now, having mysteriously been injured while Barcelona wanted him.
Yeah.
For Brazil.
Yeah, he played for Brazil, didn't he? I don't know. I think it is a really tough one to call, but I'm just going to go with Liverpool at 1.86. It's a bit of a lazy bet, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I think it might be a little bit short there, 1.86.
I think it's a bit measly. I think they should be closer to 2, but I can't see Leicester. I can't see enough value in Leicester to back them.
In this one, I am surprisingly again against Dan, as it becomes a habit today. So I am on Leicester not to lose. So 0.5 Asian handicap at 1.87 on Pro Tipster. I've seen Liverpool playing live in Munich in the preseason where they beat Bayern, I think 3-0. It was impressive for Liverpool. Okay, it was preseason. I was impressed by Mane, who is banned can't play on Saturday. With Mane and Salah in the lineup, I would I would go with Liverpool. But without Mane for me is one of their best players at the moment. Without him and his pace and his speed and his direct approach to goal, I'm backing Leicester not to lose.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I completely agree with what you just said there, Tom. I think Mane's a massive loss. I think Liverpool, same, this time last year we were saying Liverpool need to sort their defence out. A year later, they still haven't sorted their defence out. Same old problem. I think a lot of Liverpool fans are getting on Klopp's back because of that exact reason. They're just shipping goals left, right and centre, and, they lost to Leicester 2-0 midweek. I personally don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think I've actually gone for the draw here. I think it's going to be 1-1. Both teams to score might be the way to go on this one, but I think Leicester will be up for it. They're always up for it. They've done them twice. They did the double over them last season as well, and I think it's more of a confidence thing as well. I think Liverpool just and the fact that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is an absolute curse. By the way, I just can't see Liverpool winning this game. Coutinho needs to have the game of his life, and they might have a chance. But for me, I think it will be a 1-1 draw. Like you said, Dan, Okazaki is actually quite a key part for Leicester this season, to be honest. And if him and Vardy start up front, that could cause Liverpool some problems. But 1-1 for me at 3.66 for a draw.
Ooh, tasty odds.
Very tasty odds. But again, it's one of those, it's too hard to call. Whenever I look at a game that's too hard to call, I'll just go for the draw. Go for the best. So yeah, that's where I am this weekend. So that's Saturday's games out of the way. We've got 2 more to cover. Let's move on to Sunday. We've got a nice little one on the south coast, Brighton versus Newcastle.
Yeah, I've pulled a Tom on this one, actually. Brighton picked up their first win of the season, home to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Newcastle flying high in 4th, but they don't like travelling that far south from what I know. And I've got a feeling, in my gut that I'm probably not worth backing it on, but I don't think Newcastle are going to get anything from Brighton. I think Brighton are going to be better and better at home as they get used to the Premier League. And I looked at the odds and I was like, 2.68 for Brighton to win at home. Is that just because Brighton are 16th and Newcastle are 4th?
Probably is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's pretty huge odds. And I was like, 2.68. I'll take a bit of that. Thank you very much. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It is a bit of a shock to nothing because Newcastle are playing well. They've only conceded they've conceded 4 in the Premier League, scored 6. So they've been tight defensively, but they've not been scoring many goals. Only Huddersfield in the top 8 have scored fewer goals than they have. Brighton, they've only they're the same. They've only conceded 7, scored 4 goals. So it's going to be, I think, a really tight game. But I just got that feeling Brighton's going to nick it 1-0. And it's going to be the start of their campaign to stay in the Premier League. I think this is going to be a good game for them to win.
You know what? I'm actually completely agreeing with you. I've actually gone for the 1-0 win to Brighton as well at 2.68 for the win. Same reasons as you, really. I think this will kickstart Brighton's season, and Newcastle don't travel well. I mean, there was a ridiculous stat a few years ago that Newcastle went to London and couldn't win for about 20, 30 games.
Yeah, I remember that.
They just don't travel well when they come down south, you're right. And another thing in midweek that happened is Tim Krul was on loan from Newcastle at Brighton. And so he weren't going to play this weekend, but they've managed to somehow turn that into a permanent transfer, which means that he can now play for Brighton this weekend. So something tells me that he'll play at the game of his life and Brighton will win.
Okay, I'm against both of you this time again.
What a shock.
I am on Newcastle Drowno bet for 0 Asian handicap at 1.85. I saw the game they played again away to Swansea. If they can play something similar against Brighton, they've got a chance. I personally believe, but it's going to be a tough one. It's one of those tough games that can go either way with just 1 goal. Also at less than 2.5 goals, or actually the line is set to 2.25. So even the bookmakers don't expect many goals. It's going to be another tough battle for points. Newcastle are flying high with the 3 wins in a row, but I think their position in the standings do not reflect their quality they have. If win, I think they were against Stoke, and what was the other one? West Ham, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, don't remind me.
So I think they will drop down in the standings in a while, but this is another chance for them to keep on the winning wave and to keep flying high. So I'm on Newcastle. Yeah, Drowno bet 1.85.
Interesting. I mean, I can completely see why you've gone for that because obviously, form-wise, Newcastle are in good form. They've actually got a pretty good run coming up. Yeah, they got Liverpool next weekend, but then they've got Southampton, Palace, and Burnley. They can potentially win all 3 of those. So Newcastle could easily be top 4 by the end of October. Crazy to say, but it's true. So moving on, one game left. It's Monday night, and it's Arsenal versus West Brom at the Emirates. What are we thinking for this?
Okay, no odds yet, so I can't tell you what odds I'm backing, but I'm going to go for the underdogs in this one. Arsenal, I don't think have been that impressive this season. You know, I saw something from Wenger today saying he's got no hierarchy of strikers. Sanchez, will play when he thinks he should, and I'm like, what? Sanchez is clearly your best player. Against Doncaster Rovers last night, they played quite well. There were some kids in the team. Reece Nelson played, Ainsley Maitland-Niles played, but Walcott didn't look all that. Wilshere, I've never been that impressed with, which is why I'm glad we didn't pay 90 grand a week for him. Giroud, I think he's struggling now. And
who will start though? That's the question. Will Giroud might be on the bench? Do you reckon it'd be Lacazette up front at the weekend?
Yeah, I think it will be Lacazette. But okay, so Arsenal historically struggle with set pieces.
Yeah.
And West Brom are amazing at set pieces. Tony Pulis, if there's one thing he's good at, is damn tall players scoring lots of goals from set pieces, and they've been doing it for like a season and a half now. They've done well. They brought in Hegazi in defence, who looks like he's had a couple of dodgy games, but he's looked all right. Rodriguez up front, I think, has been a good signing for them.
Yeah.
Claudio Jacob scored last night against Man City, so maybe he's coming back into form. I just got a sneaky feeling West Brom are going to nick it. I would go. The odds are probably going to be massively against them, and I'll probably go for the double chance, so draw or win.
The odds are. We don't have the odds yet on Pro Tipster, but the odds will be around 1.3 or 4 for Arsenal to win. About 5 or 6, or even more for the draw, and should be around even 10 for the away win.
So there should be good value in the double chance West Brom draw or win. There should be good value there, and I just got.
I think West Brom won the last meeting against Arsenal.
They did.
I've
got friends who are West Brom fans, and to a man, they all seem to hate Tony Pulis, but they admit he gets results.
Let's get results. I mean, me personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going against you, Dan, for this one. I don't think it's going to happen this weekend on Monday night. Just looking at stat, I mean, last 6 games. West Brom did beat Arsenal last time out, but that was at the Hawthorns at the Emirates. West Brom have lost last 6 in a row and have only scored 1 goal. So, looking at that and looking at the fact that Arsenal need to make a statement, I think they will. I think they will make a statement. West Brom, they try to keep it tight, but I think they'll allow Arsenal to play a bit of football. And if Arsenal can score early on, I think it could be 2-3, 4-0. Really think so.
Yeah, on this one, you can guess my selection if you just listen to Dan's selection. So I'm going against him again. I'm on Arsenal to win this one. I mean, the odds are very low, but I agree with Martin completely. Despite it, West Brom beat them last time, I don't think they can get anything out of it this time.
Yeah, agree. I don't know, Dan, you mentioned Hegazi's had a couple of dodgy games. He's done okay for the start, but I wonder if Macaulay will replace him in defence this time, because I think Macaulay's now back fit. So I'm interested to see whether it be Gareth Macaulay or Hegazi who start in defence, or maybe both. Maybe they'll play both of those and Johnny Evans. Who knows?
Well, Tony Pulis is a fan of playing 4 centre-backs, like centre-backs as full-backs.
Interesting.
He just likes tall players.
Yeah.
Because they normally shove Chris Brunt up into midfield. Like, Chris Brunt can play like full-back. They normally play him as a midfielder.
That's true.
And I've got to be honest, as ugly as the football has been for them, West Brom are a team that are massively punching above their weight. Massively so. And I don't know, maybe it's too much to expect them to do Arsenal on TV at the Emirates on a Monday night, but I've just got this feeling. That Arsenal aren't all that they could be. I think the pressure's still on Wenger massively. He didn't bring in the all the players he wanted. Yeah, sure, he got Lacazette, but he wanted Thomas Lemar as well, and didn't get him.
True.
I think they're lacking something in midfield. Xhaka's not been the answer. El Nenny's not been the answer.
I've been lacking it for a few years now.
Yeah, and central defence as well. I think they're struggling a little bit for quality as well. And it's that struggle for quality in central defence against West Brom's set-piece tastic delivery.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling. The last time I had a feeling like this about Arsenal, losing on set pieces, they lost 2-1 in a fairly important game in 2011.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Carling Cup final, where we did them like we started. The first goal was a perfect set piece, and they can't defend them. They've not been able to defend them for a long, long time.
It's tough though. I know West Brom. That's all they've got. All they've got is set pieces. I can't see them scoring from open play. Me personally, I just think Arsenal will have too much. They would have practiced. They know what West Brom are about. They would have practiced for this. So can't see it any other way. That's probably why the odds reflect that. West Brom are a big price for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to take it on. It's one I want to take on. Interesting.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening, everyone that's been tuned in. And we'll let you know what our predictions are. Draw them up, and I'll get them out on social media. And yeah, keep an eye on the games this weekend, and we'll be back next week. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
It's been great.
See you soon.